Hello, my wonderful Libras. Welcome to Amethyst Moon Tarot. Thank you for being here today and for all of your love, your support, your views, your comments. It really does mean a lot to me. Your feedback, especially. I love hearing from everybody. If you're new here, welcome to the madhouse that can be my readings. This is for the upcoming week. But please remember that time is not linear. So, give or take a few days, possibly. But just really what the universe needs you to know for the next little bit. This is for all Libras watching. So, again, if it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't feel right, that's totally fine. It could be that it's not your reading, or maybe you're finding this message because you have to share it with somebody else. As Libras often do. Perhaps it's up to you to maybe keep the peace with something. It's an interesting little thought. Well, let's start with an oracle card and see if keep the peace comes up again. I don't know why that line came into my head, but it did. So, all right. Hopefully everybody's having a great day so far, a great week so far. Hopefully you are enjoying here we go, reset. Whatever weather, let's say that 4 times fast. Hopefully you are enjoying whatever's going on in your particular town, country, city. All right. So our oracle for today is Anubis, arbiter of truth. Okay. Preservation, neutrality, and obligation. So if we could get a more appropriate card for you, Libra, I don't think there is one. You are all about truth, and you are all about fairness, and you are all about neutrality. But that truth, it's not that it's never direct. You're always, whenever you are speaking truth, you are direct, but you maybe soften the message a little bit, right? You don't want to upset anybody. You don't want to hurt anyone's feeling. So let's continue with the tarot. See if I get anything else off of this card as we're going. So it feels like maybe there's something that you need to share with someone that you are trying to figure out how to share it, that it's not necessarily a negative or a positive message, just a message that maybe the person isn't ready for yet, and you're trying to figure out how to tell them. Okay, let's see what the tarot gives us. All right, so current mindset today, or for this week, I should say. Current mindset for Libras. And nope, they're not upside down. Okay. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Are we avoiding our responsibilities, perhaps? Avoiding work? Ooh, maybe, yeah. I'm still getting that avoidance of wanting to tell someone something, of wanting to have a conversation. But with the 8 of Pentacles, that's, what you're working on. That's in the real world. So maybe you've tried before. Let's keep going before I get too crazy on that card. All right, so our hopes and fears are death, which is not a bad card. Very rarely does it ever mean death. It usually means the start of one thing, end of one thing, beginning of another. Your obstacles are the 3 of Swords. All right, this is still driving a little bit more. Page of Cups is your foundation. Ooh. The Hermit is your environment. And the Hermit has actually come up, I think, in every reading today in their environment. That's a little odd. Okay. Let's move this over. All right. So our advice and future from the universe is the Four of Wands, and that's success, family, and interesting. Six of Swords. And your surprise from the universe today is the Page of Swords. Okay, Libras. I am still getting the feeling of needing to have a conversation that you don't want to have. Now, this could be in the workplace since it is the Eight of Pentacles. Even though it's in reversed, I go off of the feeling, not necessarily just the card itself, but it could be that you have to have a conversation with a coworker. Oh, maybe someone has not been pulling their weight at work. Now, I'm going with work because it is the Pentacles, but this could be in family. This could be in a community organization. So like, let's say you're a member of your local playhouse and you're the director and your star is never showing up on time, is always making everybody around them wait, but they are very talented. They are an amazing performer. And it feels like you know that you need to have that conversation. You want to keep that person around. You want to keep that energy around. But it can't keep going how it is, right? So our hopes and our fears is death. And again, death speaks to change. It speaks to the end of one thing, the beginning of another. It can also be the end of a mindset. Maybe there is some clarity that has recently been achieved. This is the hopes and fears. So if we, again, use the example of your star being, egotistical and all diva-like, there is validity in that diva-ishness, right? They are very, very talented, but that talent does not warrant the bullshit that they're bringing with them, the disrespect that they're bringing to what you work on, right? Like if you are the director of a playhouse, going with that same example, that is extremely disrespectful to you. And I know you want to keep the peace. This feels like it's been going on for a little while now. And it feels like the universe is telling you, okay, we know you like to keep the peace. We know you want everybody to be happy. We know that you want to make it fair for everybody around you, sometimes at the cost of yourself. But in this situation, it feels like it may not be entirely fair, which does not jive with a Libra well, right? Our obstacles are the Three of Swords. And again, if we go with this same story of a playhouse, then you suspect, you fear that if you have that conversation, this extremely talented person is just going to walk out. They're going to be like, I don't need you, screw you, I'm out of here. And you've got like 2 weeks until show date, until opening date, right? Could also be that they don't listen to you, which breaks your heart. I am getting manipulation, though. I am getting manipulation with this Three of Swords, with these obstacles. So it could be that someone's making a ton of excuses, right? And as understanding as you are going to continue to be understanding even if it hurts you. And it feels like the universe is saying that you can't let this hurt you, right? You need to be fair to everyone. You need to be equal with everyone. And Libra is usually very much that person, but it feels like there is an energy, a particular energy that has been pushing you to your limits, kind of. All right, let's keep going. Page of Cups in the Foundation. With our could be that whatever you're working on, you're still fairly new at yourself, right? Maybe this is the first time you've been the director of a playhouse. Continuing with our story. Maybe you just recently got the job. Maybe the energy that you've brought to this situation has always been a very open-minded, youthful, hopeful, helpful energy, which basically describes a Libra, trying to keep everybody happy, trying to keep everybody healthy. But it feels like whatever this is, you're getting your bearings. It feels like this is something new to you. Maybe this situation is new to you and you have been doing this particular job for a very long time. But this particular situation is not something you've experienced before. It feels more like you are starting out and figuring yourself out because your environment is the Hermit. And this is self-reflection. This is spirituality. This is deep inner knowledge. This is really, I always think of this as my meditative card, where you're looking for that spark. Now, the Hermit in all the cards always has that spark, always finds that spark, is always that light in the darkness. But and this is the environment, but what I'm getting off of this, what I'm feeling is that right now that flame is just a tiny spark. And the meditation, the self-reflection is still required to turn that spark into a flame. There is something going on, and maybe this is why, this is maybe why I feel so disjointed about this, is that Libra, for you, this is a very new situation. This is either a very new workplace, a very new project, a very new person. This could be a new energy. And the Hermit is just telling you right now, for your environment, they're trying to calm you down, right? You've got an extreme change with death. You've got the Three of Swords, which, it's a minor arcana, but it seems that every person on the planet knows what the Three of Swords represents, right? It's heartbreak. But it's not just heartbreak. Sometimes it's releasing an old feeling from your heart. Sometimes it's letting that emotion out into the universe and not holding on to it so tightly. And it feels like right now is the time for meditation. Right now is the time for having a really good look at your heart, a really good look at your emotions. Libras are so kind and so sweet, and you really do just want to take care of everybody, but when that happens, you do run the risk of being taken advantage of, right? you do run the risk of having your heart broken, and you will not even tell anybody that your heart was broken. You'll hold that inside. And feels like the universe is letting you know, like, the advice and the future is the Four of Wands, the Six of Swords. This is success through leaving something behind, right? And this can probably be interpreted a few different ways, but I'm going off of what I'm feeling and the images that I'm getting, and I'm feeling success, happiness once you leave something behind. Now, that could be a mindset, maybe. If we go back to the example of the playhouse, maybe this person's always late because they have kids and you had no idea that they had kids, and they have to get the kids to school, or they have to get the kids to a play group, or maybe they're constantly waiting for a babysitter, and that babysitter is always late. And rather than tell you what is going on in their personal life, because it is their personal life, they cop an attitude, right? I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm still just feeling happiness, success, good home, good life, solid foundation. Once you can leave something behind, it could be a mindset. It could be making excuses. Maybe you stop making excuses for this person and they finally do pick up their weight. Maybe it is coming out of left field where maybe you're not going to be like, no, everybody has to be happy. Everybody, I want everybody to have the same experience here. Maybe you've got a little bit of blinders on and not seeing the issues that are arising. But, and I mean, normally I would see the Eight of Swords for this, but with the Six of Swords and the Page of Swords and Strength underneath. So our surprise from the universe is the Page of Swords. And this is a new mindset. This is new ideas. This is the student. This is fresh thoughts. It really feels like something has come in to your life, into your work, your family, that is causing a major shift for you. Could be a young energy. And when I say major shift, we do have two major arcanas here, but the majority of them are minor. So this isn't going to be like night and day in your life. This is going to be oh, I didn't know you had children and couldn't get here until the babysitter got there, and the babysitter is always late. This could be, oh, I didn't know you only had a little bit of experience and you have no idea about the programs that we are working on. Let me teach you, right? It feels like the universe is saying, take a minute, really look at the situation, really take your own emotions out of it, take your own feelings out of it, which Libras are experts at, and just sit down with the whatever it is that's going on and turn that spark into a flame. Right now, it's at the beginning. It feels like whatever has been happening that kind of goes against how a Libra normally feels about things. Right now, your balances are like this, right? You're up. And you just kind of want to get them back here where they should be. And you will get them back there. This is balance. But it feels like you need a fresh perspective. You need to leave ideas that aren't working for you, or maybe ideas that were wrong, thoughts that you had that were wrong, which it happens to all of us, or it may be outdated. Just saying, okay, this is where I came from, but where I'm going is to a happier place, to a more solid place. That old knowledge is going to stay with me, but I want to incorporate this new knowledge. Maybe this again, going back to the playhouse, maybe this person can't get there till, like, let's say 7 o'clock at night, but rehearsal started at 6:30. So instead of penalizing this one person, now that you found out the reasons they can't get there, even if they're diva-ish, maybe there's a legitimate reason that they can't get there on time. You have a conversation with the team and say, look, this person's childcare isn't available to this time. Is everybody okay with coming in an hour later or a half hour later for practice? Does that mess with anybody else's schedules? And Libra, it feels like you are the one saying, okay, well, this group needs to be here earlier. Okay, so we're going to have to try to arrange special exceptions for a few weeks from now. But until then, we can do rehearsals with these people starting at this time. We have our overlap here. They leave early, and then I concentrate on these people. It feels like a more solid mindset. It feels like a more solid environment in the physical world, something more solid once that new idea really grows, once it goes from a spark to a full flame. And that is what I am getting for you for this week, Libras. So hopefully this brought you some clarity. Hopefully this helps. I would love to get your feedback on it. I'd love your comments. I would love to know how this week goes for you. I would love to know if this resonated with you. If it did resonate, if you're feeling extra generous today, please hit that thumbs up button and maybe even that subscribe button if you'd like to see this every week. If you would like a personal reading, all of my contact information is in the description box below. I hope every one of you, my Libras, has an enlightened week, because it feels like that's exactly what it's going to be. So I will see you all soon. Hugs and kisses.